This is a full length leaf filter, and so you have the diamond pattern plastic side, and then you have the screen-like material, although the holes in it are much bigger than what you would find in a regular screen. This is 36 inches long. It is 6 1/4 from this edge to this edge. This portion right here is what clips on to the front side of your gutter, your rain gutter. So if you exclude this portion of it, this is 5 3/4 from this edge to this edge. This would be the edge that goes up underneath your shingles, and again, this would be what locks onto the front edge of your rain gutter. This would be the wrong side to be facing up, and there's multiple reasons why. One, where this locks onto your gutter, this little inside plastic piece is shorter than this piece. This piece is probably about 1/4, just under 1/4 longer than this piece right here. If you put this on your gutter this way, you're going to have issues with leaves, pine needles, and other stuff that's floating through the air, because what's going to happen is it's all going to get stuck. So like the stems, or if you have pine needles are going to be really bad with this side facing up. And what's going to happen is it's going to get up under these diamonds here and get trapped between the plastic and the screening material, and it's going to get real heavy. And then so you'll end up having these bulging spots that are just full of debris. And then if it gets heavy, what's going to happen is this stuff, the screening material, and I'm not 100% sure, but this glue that's on the screening material, then it's randomly put along these little vertical plastic, solid plastic pieces. I want to say this is just regular, like a glue stick that you use a glue gun for. And I would tell you that if it rains, the debris that gets in here gets heavy, and then if the sun comes out or if it gets really hot, this glue will not hold. It will get very tacky, and if you got the weight of all this stuff sitting inside here, it's going to pull it away. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have just debris everywhere, and this stuff is going to be, the underside is going to be hanging down, and it's just going to build up, and it's going to be nearly impossible to clean. Unfortunately, even with this being the correct side up, so this would be up underneath your shingles, this edge, and this would be locked onto the front side of your gutter. I guess it's something that's being counted on, and the way that the screening material is adhering to the plastic is that the shingles will also hold this glue and the screening material down. And I would tell you, if you put these on a hot day, or these have been sitting in the sun, don't be surprised when you go to put them up underneath your shingles that what's going to happen is your shingles are going to push the screening material and lift it up and bunch it up, so it's not going to be under your shingles properly. So just be prepared for that. This is the proper way for them to be installed. And then the other thing is, even though you don't have to put any screws or anything on this side where the shingles are holding it down, don't count on this front edge locking onto your gutter. I would get some self-tap screws and put them along the front edge. You can buy them colored, or you can just buy the regular ones. Colored ones are going to be more expensive. Like I said, This is a full length one, 36 inches. And then as you continue your leaf filter, so I'm going to show this. Let's just say that this is the next one that you're going to use. You do want to put a 3-inch notch, so you're going to cut this piece out right here, and then you're going to overlap these pieces. This is just an example. This was used for something else, so there is a difference in how wide these are, but this is just to show that you do want to cut that 3-inch notch out of this piece that locks on, so that you do have overlap between them, and this is going to help prevent it from, well, I won't say it's going to prevent it from sagging, because these things will sag because they are plastic, and if it gets hot and it rains and then gets hot again, the glue gets tacky and the screening material could get bunched up, especially if a bunch of material sits on top of it. And then again, when you do put your screws in, especially at these joints, you want to put one here and one here, and then continue on. You can go every foot or every 1.5 feet. I would personally go every foot, because what you'll find is, because these warp so much in the heat and then the direct sun, that they do warp quite a bit, but the screws being every foot will help hold it down and also help prevent it from warping too much. Something else you need to be very careful with is, because this, like I said, I don't know what type of glue this is, but I do know that it gets very tacky when it's hot. If you go to clean these out when it is hot, be very careful, because you could damage the screening material. I wish I had an example of what it looked like, because I went to clean one using a vacuum hose. I was just basically blowing the leaves off of this, and the hose was scraping across this, and I didn't realize that it was bunching it up. So I had to go back. I had to get a ladder and go up and push this all back in place. It all went back in place, but you can't have anything scrape against it, because it will come up. Something else to show is the bonding quality between this glue and the plastic or vinyl leaf filter is, and I haven't heated this up, I haven't done anything with it. This hasn't even been used. This was pre-cut for a project, and then it wasn't used, but just to show how easy it is to remove the screen from the plastic or nylon leaf filter. So there isn't a very good bond between the two. So without even heating it up, you can see that the two can separate very easily. So the heat gun for that whole period was pretty hot, but this material, screening material, actually dissipates heat pretty quick, because you can touch it almost right away and it's not even that hot at all. Now let's put this part of the rain or leaf filter under the heat gun and see what happens. Alright, so once again, put the heat gun on it. This area that I had it concentrate on got very stretchy, flexible, melting. It was maintaining its shape without me really touching it, but once I started touching it, it started stretching some. I can already feel it hardening back up. It's pretty rigid right now. But although the heat gun was definitely a lot hotter than the sun being on it all day, it is very similar in a way that when the sun hits this all day, this stuff does warp, and it's almost like it constantly goes through some shape changing. So one day you can go up there and it's all warped one way, and then the next day it'll be warped a whole different way. So I just heated this up. You can see how easily it comes off, and I measured the temperature. I was using a hairdryer. I'm just trying to press it back on there and use a temperature gauge. The highest temperature I got was 93.8. Let's see what we get this time. You can see when I was moving it around, it was moving pretty easily. And this just goes to show you that this glue isn't that great. There's got to be a better way to keep this or adhere this screening material to the leaf filters or leaf guards. Hopefully that will give you a good idea of why these are probably not the best leaf filters. Not necessarily just the pine needles that create such a headache. The fact is the way that they're made may not be the best because of the adhesive and the way they warp due to the heat. And I actually think that before I got these leaf filters put on, and I did put them on myself, so I can't blame anybody else, but I think I did less maintenance when I didn't have leaf filters. And I mean, I did have to get up here several times during the fall, and I would just use a ladder, scoop everything out all the way down. But I think I only did that once or twice, and now it just seems like I'm constantly doing it with leaf filters. At this time, I don't have a recommendation for a better leaf filter. I don't know if any type of leaf filter will really help, unless there's, I mean, I have an idea that they would probably have to be metal and probably have some micro perforations in it that prevent the pine needles from sticking in it in order to not do as much maintenance on them. There's some things that need to be figured out still, and I did want to give these a chance, and so far they're not doing too great. So I don't really have a recommendation for a better filter.